Summary of Touching Spirit Bear by Ben Mikaelsen. Cole Matthews, who is 15 years old, is angry as he sits in the bow of a small boat. Along with Edwin, a Tlingit elder, and Cole's parole officer Garvey, who is also Tlingit, he is going to a remote island in Alaska. Cole will be sent to the island for a year, and he hates everyone in his life because of it. When Edwin and Garvey bring Cole to shore, they show him his simple house and give him advice. Cole thinks about how he got here. Cole broke into a hardware shop not long ago. When a kid named Peter Driscoll tells on Cole, Cole hits Peter over the head with the sidewalk. Nathaniel Blackwood, the expensive lawyer that Cole's parents hire, doesn't think there's anything he can do to stop Cole from getting a heavy punishment. Circle Justice is a group that uses restorative justice, and Garvey suggests that Cole join. They taught Cole how to be responsible and how to try to make things right with Peter with the help of their community. Cole doesn't care until he learns that joining Circle Justice could help him get out of jail faster. The first time Cole goes to Healing Circle, his parents, who just got separated, sit on either side of him. This makes Cole very angry. He doesn't like them and thinks they made him be there. Peter limps and has trouble speaking because he was hit, so seeing him at the meeting shocks Cole. But Cole tells himself that this is Peter's fault. When Cole tells everyone that his dad beats him, chaos breaks out. Cole's mom won't back up her son's story, and his dad is furious. When Peter's lawyer jokes that they can't just send Cole away, Garvey points out that Cole is Tlingit and that people from his group in Southeast Alaska are sent to remote islands for a year if they break the law. Cole pretends to be strong, but he's really scared. Cole wants to kill any bear he sees on the island because he's not afraid. They talk about spirit bears, which are black and white bears that live south of here. He keeps telling Cole that the animals here can teach him a lot if he takes the time to learn. While this is going on, Garvey gives Cole an which is a Tlingit blanket. He tells Cole that it's a sign of trust, and Cole reluctantly takes the thing. Garvey and Edwin go away. They're coming back in a few days, but Cole isn't going to be here, he's going to swim away. He goes through his stuff, lights them on fire, and then he laughs uncontrollably. After that, he takes off all but his underwear and wades into the cold bay. Even though Cole can swim well, he knows that the tide is turning against him. He lets the water take him to land because his body is giving out. He can barely think because he's so cold, but he makes his way to a warm spot. When he wakes up, he sees that it's the burning remains of the shelter. Cole thinks he sees a spirit bear as he plans his next move. Even worse, the animal doesn't seem to be scared of him. It rains the next day. As the spirit bear shows up on the beach, Cole knows he has to swim today. He wants to feel strong, though. He gets his knife and makes a stick for himself before going up to the bear. The bear runs after Cole when he throws the knife. Cole runs after it, and during their fight, it breaks Cole's leg, an arm, his hip, his ribs, and destroys his body. So Cole only has a bit of fur that he tore off when it runs off. Cole has no idea how this happened, but now everything is scared of him. When he looks around, he doesn't feel like he's part of the world. He fears that he is going to die. Cole will be in a deep sleep from pain for the next 2 days. At first, he doesn't like that there is a nest of baby birds in a nearby tree, but when a storm brings the tree down and kills all the babies, he feels terrible. Cole knows he can't do anything and starts to wonder if his life is worth living. Cole promises to live after having a dream in which he is a baby bird that needs help. He eats bugs, leaves, his own poop, and even a live mouse. Cole wants to have the last word, so when the spirit bear comes back, he spits at it. The bear licks his poop. Cole finds the bear standing over him when he wakes up later. Cole fights the urge to spit and instead reaches out and touches the animal. After that, it goes away. Cole gets weaker after this fight. Gary and Edwin come back when he's almost dead. Cole spends the night with Rosie, the nurse on the island, after being taken to Drake. Cole feels better when Garvey is around, and he's glad that Garvey saved the apple. Even though Cole tells Edwin and Garvey everything, they don't believe that he really saw a spirit bear. Cole finds the bear's white fur in his pocket as he gets ready to fly to the closest hospital. He promises to always tell the truth from now on, so he won't need proof. He drops the fur in the water. Cole will be in the hospital for 6 months. His mom often comes to see him. Cole learns from her visits that his dad's parents beat him when he was a kid. He doesn't know how to be a parent without being mean. Cole's mom agrees to say that her ex-husband abused the kids. She also stops drinking and begs Cole to forgive her. Cole will never fully use his right arm after he leaves the hospital. He will still walk with a limp. Everyone at the One Circle meeting he goes to hates him and wants to jail him, even though Edwin flies in to show that Cole is changing. Cole gives up and agrees to go to jail, but Edwin and Garvey persuade the Circle to give him another shot. Cole has to pay for his own trip to Alaska this time. He gives away all of his sports gear to get tools and building materials for another house. Garrett and Edwin take Cole to the island and make him set up camp and build his house all by himself. Cole doesn't like this and finds it hard to control his anger. Garvey tells Cole on the first night that life is like a hot dog. It can be a simple food item that feeds you, or it can be a party if you cook it with care and share it with your friends. Ethan wakes Cole up early the next morning and takes him to a pond. They soak in the water that is very cold. If you think about being sent to the island as a child, Edwin says, he learned to be happy by focusing on how cold it was. He also makes it clear that Cole will always be angry, but that he can learn to deal with it better. Still, Cole doesn't think it makes sense to soak in an icy pond, even though he thinks this makes more sense than anything his teachers told him. Cole makes dinner after a long day at work. Their dance is a whale dance because Garvey saw a whale that morning. After the dance, each person talks about what they learned from it. Cole feels dumb, but he finds out that whales don't have houses. Edwin says Cole will do the angry dance when he is ready. Cole has to go to the pond with Edwin again in the morning. Then Edwin gives Cole a big rock that stands for his relatives and makes him take it up a hill. Edwin tells Cole at the top that it's his anger now, so he should roll it down the hill. Cole is grumpy all day, and Edwin and Garvey think about taking Cole home at dinner because of it. Edwin tells Cole that he needs to stick to his promise by getting up early in the morning to go to the pond and take the grandfather rock by himself. Cole does what he's told because he's afraid they'll do it. There is a difference in how cold the water feels this time when he tries to breathe like Edwin. Taking the rock up the hill, he thinks about how far he's come and sees a white shape that goes away. Cole says sorry back at camp. He says he knows he shouldn't put the blame on other people for his mistakes, not even his dad, because his dad is scared and doesn't know any better. Cole works on his house and makes Edwin and Garvey a tasty dinner to remember their last night on the island. He even puts it down as a cover. That night, he dances the Spirit Bear dance. Cole's walk the next morning and his trip to the pond are both accompanied by Garvey and Edwin. As they get ready to leave, Edwin tells Cole that he needs to learn one thing before he can heal, but he won't say what it is. Cole does his job and spends the mornings hiking and relaxing in the pond. He thinks back to the totem poles he saw in Drake and Garvey's advice to make them. Cole finds a great log that he knows would also make a great boat. Cole drags it back to the house. He doesn't get much sleep that night and skips the pond in the morning. He starts to cut the front into a point out of anger, but then he decides to make the log into a totem pole instead. He then goes back to spending his mornings in the pond. Cole tells Edwin the truth when he comes back. Cole tries to become invisible so he can see the spirit bear, but putting ash and wood on his body doesn't help. Cole finally figures out that to be unseen, he has to blend in with the scenery. He sits at the point the next morning and lets himself get wet. The spirit bear does indeed show up. Cole does the angry dance that night. He tells the story of his first trip to the island through dance. He yells "I'm sorry" and "I forgive you" when he's done. When Edwin comes back, Cole tells him what he learned, that when he's mad, someone else is in charge of him. Cole is in charge when he forgives. That's why he wants to carve something on his totem, but he doesn't know what. Cole also says he learned that he needs to help Peter get better first. The next few times Edwin comes to see Cole, he seems short with him. Winter ends. In early spring, Edwin shows up with the news that Peter tried to kill himself. Cole is shocked, but not enough to make Edwin happy. Cole had a good idea for how to help Peter, but Edwin left before he could hear it. Edwin comes back the next day. Peter tried to kill himself again, and no one knows how to help him. Cole says Peter would see that healing is possible if he could go to the island and take part in the island rites. After a few weeks, Peter, Mr. and Mrs. Driscoll, and Garvey show up. Garvey is going to stay on the island and watch over the boys. Cole finds it strange that Peter is scared of him. Cole tries to give Peter a candy bar on their first day by themselves. Garvey tells him that Cole's dad is in court trying to get custody of Cole, but he is sure that Cole's dad will lose. Cole sleeps in a tent far from the cabin for the next few weeks, and Peter is cold and rude to him. He goes with Cole and Garvey to their morning routine, but he doesn't really join in. Peter finally lets Cole sleep in the house, but he's rude every time he gets the chance. He even breaks one of Cole's carvings for a totem pole. Cole and Garvey pull up a log so that Peter can cut his own totem. One day, Cole finds Peter fixing the carving on Cole's totem that he broke. Peter is proud to say that he might be willing to teach Cole how to carve because the new cutting is so good. After 4 weeks, Peter still wants to go to the pond by himself with Cole. Peter wants to fight Cole with his fists, but Cole doesn't want to fight. He tells Peter again that he's sorry and wants to help him get better and forgive. Peter falls to the ground and says he's scared. Cole makes Peter feel better until he realizes that the spirit bear is watching. As they always do in the morning, the boys find another rock for Peter to take. Cole's healing is complete, and he gives the at. The novel ends with Peter and Cole carving a circle into the last empty space on Cole's totem pole, symbolizing the unity and peace that they have found on the island.
About the author. Mikaelsen was born in Bolivia to parents who were working as Christian missionaries. As a child in Bolivia, Mikaelsen spoke Spanish as his first language. Because he was the only white person in his town, he faced racism and abuse. Not until he was 9 years old did he start school. At that point, he could go to the same private school as his brothers. Without any schooling before his first day of school, Mikaelsen was often hit by his teachers when he did not do well. The Mikaelsen family moved to Minnesota just in time for him to start 7th grade. There, in the US, Mikaelsen was picked on again. He wrote stories, worked to pay for flying lessons, and taught himself how to cliff dive to deal with things. When Mikaelsen was in college, he turned in an interesting paper that made his professor want to help him find a teacher to help him learn basic spelling, language, and rules. Mikaelsen took in a black bear cub that was going to be killed because its claws were missing after moving to Montana and getting active with his local fish and game office. The bear named Buffy lived with Mikaelsen until he died in 2012. Touching Spirit Bear was based on Buffy. Although Mikaelsen's most well-known book is Touching Spirit Bear, he has written many more books for kids. Mikaelsen also works on a project to stop bullying and talks to schools about it. He lives in Anacortes, Washington, with his wife.
Hope we summarized it fully and you liked it. Please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so that we are motivated to create more videos.